Yo, what's going on boys, it's Clements back on the mic, and today I'm going to be walking and guiding you guys through the best settings, the best graphical settings to be using in Warzone Pacific on console. Now just a heads up that these settings aren't in particular the settings you want to be using if you go in quote unquote try hard or you're really trying to compete and perform. These settings are in mind just to make the game look as aesthetically pleasing to the eye as possible. So please do keep that in mind, so these settings aren't going to be for everybody. And as we know, on console we're very limited to what we can tweak and change in terms of graphics, unfortunately, compared to PC at least. But in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys and walking you guys through the settings that we do have available, and I'll try my best to provide the best graphics possible. So the first thing we're going to do is going to come into the options in Warzone, scroll over to the graphics tab, and the first two settings we're going to tweak are weapon and world motion blur. And we're going to completely enable both of these settings. Now like I said, these settings that I am showing you guys today aren't really the best for quote unquote tryhards or when you're trying to perform in game. They're just to try and make the game look nice. Now by enabling both of these settings, it may affect things like visibility if you're moving a lot. Which, let's face it, you will be moving a lot because Warzone requires a lot of movement, but it just makes the game look pretty. So I recommend, if you are looking for the best graphics possible, definitely enable these two features, and they are on by default as well, so you might not even have to tweak these at all. Scrolling down to film grain, now what you want to do is you want to press the Y or the triangle button on console on your controller, and this will set the value to the default, which is 0.25. Now what this setting does is it adds a kind of grainy filter over the picture, which is used a lot in movies, so it creates a sort of cinematic feel. It will probably also make the game look a lot sharper. Now you don't want to exceed the default value because too much visual noise will make it just look ugly. If you do decide to exceed the default value of 0.25, be very careful because you can very easily add a lot of artificial sharpening, and that's not what we want. It can very easily lead to a lot of distortion. Now scrolling down to the brightness settings, you will notice that I've got HDR brightness, and that's because I'm running the game on a HDR display, but not everyone will have a HDR display, so it might just say brightness. So what you want to do is you want to set this to the default value of 50. And if you've got a HDR display like me, you just want to set it to the default value of 1.0000. And then come down to the calibration settings, and you want to basically calibrate the brightness settings to your display. Now everyone's display is slightly different, so you want to calibrate it to yours unique. Now scrolling down once more to on-demand texture streaming. Now this setting is quite a tricky one. Ever since this feature has been implemented into Warzone, it hasn't actually worked as intended yet. It's been in the game for months, since Black Ops Cold War, and I believe the only platform as this feature working as intended right now is PC, but correct me if I'm wrong. But if you are on PC and you are watching this video, like I do say, this video is primarily aimed to console players, but if you are on PC and still watching, definitely I recommend you turn this setting on. So we're streaming the best higher quality textures possible. Be advised though that obviously because we are streaming textures off of the internet as we play, it can have a strain on your internet, so if you have a strong enough connection, definitely go for it. If you don't, then maybe hold off, either have it on standard quality or disable it entirely. Just have a little play test and see what works for you. You might lag, you might not. I know personally I do get packet bursts from time to time when I have it on higher quality. I am a Series X user and I can confirm that this setting is still not working as intended. So if you're on PC, enable it. If you're a console player like me, keep it disabled for now until it works as it should, and then definitely consider putting it on higher quality so we're getting the best textures possible. Now the final setting that we are going to be tweaking is, actually it's not in the graphics tab, it's in the interface tab. You want to scroll over once to the interface tab, scroll down a few times till you find colorblind type, and you want to turn this to Deuteranopia. Now what this will do is just saturate the colours a little bit more, making the game look more pleasing. If you are actually colorblind, then obviously use the setting that best suits you, but if you're not, then definitely I suggest you turn it to Deuteranopia just to make the colours look more vibrant, overall making the entire game, the map, your guns, your operators look far more vibrant and colourful. Now if you do decide to enable a colorblind setting, you definitely want to scroll down once more to colorblind target, and you can either set this to two things. You can set it to world or both. If you set it to world, the colorblind setting that you have enabled will only affect the map and operators in game and weapons and stuff like that. Set it to both, it will affect the world and the UI, so the interface, so the operator pictures that are displayed, text will look more colourful. If you do set it to just interface, it's pretty much useless. I don't recommend really doing that. If you are going to enable a colorblind setting, definitely set it to either world or both. So there you have it boys, those are the settings that I use to make Warzone look the best it possibly can on console, and like I do say, we are very limited to what we can do, so I've done my best. I'm on an Xbox Series X, and I will say that I do think that a next gen update is long overdue, but I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. I don't think they're going to implement things like a console field of view slider or any advanced graphical settings to change and tweak, because Warzone 2 is coming out early next year, and we all know that's going to be next gen only, so that in a way is going to be the next gen update for Warzone, unfortunately. But there you have it, boys. That's how you're going to make Warzone look the best it possibly can on console at least. So yeah, hope you did find today's video helpful. If you did, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. If you are new, I've been Clements. You guys have been absolutely amazing as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out and take care.